Welcome to pickleball. You have joined an amazing community. You're going to get activity, social interaction,
really good game, guys. Thanks.
And a little bit of competition. You've started down a journey of both personal growth, mentally, as well as physically. My name is CJ Johnson, and this is my partner, Tony Roy.
Almost couldn't get out of the court.
But we're pickleball professionals, and we've helped thousands of players just like you to learn and to enjoy this game.
Welcome everybody to pickleball. It's an amazing sport. We've designed this program to get you started on the right foot. We're going to talk to you about several things in this video and in subsequent videos, and as well as our beginner series, our getting started series that we have for you. Everything's in there. And what's going to give you is going to give you some tips and some concepts that will really help you start it on the right foot and enjoy this awesome sport. While pickleball is a safe sport, you are moving quickly on a hard surface like these courts out here. So there's a chance for falling. There's several tips that CJ and I are going to share with you now that'll help you minimize the chances of falling, as well as, importantly, protect your legs and your feet.
So one of the first things that you need to make sure that you do is that you are wearing the correct shoes. So what do we mean by correct shoes? You want to be wearing a shoe that's designed for pickleball. Now, they don't have to match your outfits like we have here, but they do need to be designed to play the game. Now, if you don't have a pickleball specific shoe, a court shoe would be fine. Basketball, tennis, volleyball, any of those types of shoes would be sufficient. What you don't want to wear are running shoes, flip-flops, cross-training, walkers, any shoe that's not designed for lateral movement is a no-no on the pickleball courts. If you're still not sure what shoe to wear or would like more information on shoes, we've got a video for you in your Getting Started course. Use the link that's provided to you to access the course.
In addition to shoes, you're going to need a paddle. You can see here all sorts of different paddle manufacturers. When you're first getting started, the paddle you're playing with isn't that important. What is important is that it's not too heavy for you. It doesn't feel too heavy in your arm. Other than that, play with a paddle you already have, or if you're playing at a facility that lends out paddles, feel free to use those paddles for now. You can worry about getting a paddle later on. As to ball, play with the ball that's played by your community. So whatever ball is used in your community, just use that ball. If you're not sure what ball to use, or you're playing with friends and need a ball for yourself, this Franklin X40 is a really good choice to start with. We will have links to the paddle, some more paddle discussion and ball discussion inside your Getting Started course.
The next thing we want to do is familiarize ourselves with the type of movement that we have on the pickleball court. We want to make sure that we're doing this safely. So the first type of movement on the pickleball court, which Tony's going to demonstrate, and you're going to notice he doesn't even have a pickleball paddle in his hand. It's not necessary for this because we're more focused on the feet, is forward movement. So come on up forward, Tony. Obviously, forward movement, that's something we do all the time. Now the other type of movement, one of the other types of movement that we do in pickleball is lateral movement, and that we don't do so often. So Tony, let's demonstrate some lateral movement. And what you'll notice Tony is going to do is he's going to try and keep his hips as forward as possible. One other thing that he's doing is anytime he moves, before he changes direction, he stops and he rebalances himself. You don't want to move quickly from one direction over to the other direction without that little rebalance, because you could have a trip and fall.
The third type of movement we have on the pickleball court, which CJ is going to help us demonstrate, is the backward movement. Backward movement normally happens when a lob is hit over your head and you have to go back to get it. Let's talk first about what we do not want to do. This is the most dangerous thing that you can do on a pickleball court. What we don't want to do is, if the ball goes up, is to look up and back pedal the way CJ is doing here. That is extremely dangerous. You're not made to move that way. And also, if you happen to fall, so if you happen to get stuck and fall that way, you have no way of breaking the fall without breaking a wrist, an elbow, and you might even smack your head on the ground. So there's two ways that you're going to move once you've opened the door, and I'm going to show you that in a second, or CJ's going to show you that in a second. So what you want to do is when you've identified a ball that's going up and you need to move backward, the very first thing you're going to do is open the door. So you see CJ used her left foot. She used that as the pivot. Show it again, CJ, if you would. So this is the pivot or the hinge, and she opens the door. It looks like it's a door swinging. She could also go the other way, so she can pivot off of her right foot the other way. Do whichever one is more natural for you. Don't worry too much about doing it one way or the other way. The key is that you do this move, this pivot move or this opening the door move, so that you are not trying to go backwards or backpedaling. And then once you've opened the door, so CJ will open the door again, there's two options right now. If it's a ball that's a short ball, say it's a ball that's gonna land, or gonna travel around here, and CJ says, you know what, I can hit that out of the air, she's gonna shuffle or go lateral, see that? So it's the same movement that I was showing you here, and then she's gonna address the ball and hit it. But you notice she's moving laterally, so if she were to trip and fall, she can break the fall with her hands as she falls down. The other thing that CJ can do is if the ball is traveling deeper and CJ wants to go all the way back, she will open the door and then close the door, and then she can move in a forward direction. So you'll notice that CJ is never moving in a backward direction or with her back moving towards the direction she's heading in. She's always moving either with her side or her shoulder towards that spot or with her front. Another really important safety feature you want to think about is ball on court or any object on the court. And so what happens is you're playing a game, the balls are going back and forth, and then what'll happen is here there's two courts next to each other, and what'll happen is the ball will go on a court like this. This team will call stop play. What you don't want to do is guess that the ball's not going to be dangerous. Don't worry about whether the ball is here or whether the ball is there. It's the same thing. Whenever the ball comes on court, stop play. Next, CJ and I will be sharing you some more about pickleball. We're talking about the rules. We're going to show you the pickleball court. We're going to talk about some strategies and the shots you're going to be hitting while you're playing pickleball. What's important is to understand that it's easy to get on the court and have a good time playing pickleball, which we're going to do during your session. But remember that there's a lot to learn. What you want to do is you want to take it a little bit at a time and give yourself the time and space that you need to learn the game.
If you'd like to go back and review this video, or you're ready to learn more, you want to know more about scoring, or you want to jump in and find out more about paddles, make sure that you go to your Getting Started course. Now, Tony and I have put together a guide as well as multiple videos inside of the Getting Started course to help you get off on the right foot. A link will be provided to you by your facility.